Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
Apparently, you do when you play us. At least 1% more.
0.7% more.
That's all you need. That is all you fucking need.
It's not just 0.7% more. It's 1 point. It's
right.
Yeah.
Sorry, math guy.
Sorry,
math guy.
Yeah, 1.4.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders. Let's talk Penguins and Rangers. But let's not talk about Flyers, because they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
Episode 12, Friends and Rivals podcast coming at you. I am one of your hosts, Tom Harkness. Along with me, as always, are
Steven Wojtowicz,
Bill Fougere,
Nick Larita.
Dude, that's not even.
He was almost confused.
Were you confused? Because that's not your name, right?
That was the joke.
I got really scared.
Oh,
Like, not another one.
Damn it.
Whoosh.
Damn it.
He couldn't finish the joke because he couldn't pronounce the last name, too. He couldn't. He doesn't know how to say it yet.
I mean, it still says Steve Woj a lot of letters in my contact for you. So
Would you not going to work around here anymore?
Does it really say Woj a lot of letters?
I'm pretty sure it still does.
Hysterical.
I didn't know how to spell Steve's last name for the longest time, so I just left it that way.
Me too.
Naina. It's not that hard.
Exactly.
I like to spell people's names correctly, so if I can, I make up random shit.
So it's either 100% correct or 0% correct. There's no in between.
100% botched.
Nice.
Just botched. Oh, that's offsides.
Well, we are recording on a Tuesday evening, and all of our teams are in action. Penguins are home against the Washington Capitals. The Islanders are in Buffalo against the Sabres, and the Rangers and Devils are playing at MSG. As of right now, it's 12 minutes left in the third period, and the Rangers and Devils are tied at 2. So one of Steve and I are going to go home happy, and the other one's going to go home a little upset. But, I mean, it has been, 2.5 weeks since the Devils have played a hockey game?
Yeah, 2.5 weeks.
We're going to let you lead off, bud.
So to start off, we are going to recap very quickly the whole COVID situation because there was a lot of interviews yesterday with the players. So it was surprising to find out that Miles Wood actually confirmed he had it before training camp even started. So that's probably why he never wound up on the list of players infected. Blackwood said his symptoms were mostly in his chest, coughing, difficulty breathing, never had a fever. So that was good to hear. He's saying he could have probably come back after that first wave of the players getting it. And Lindy Ruff believes Nico, if he wasn't on the list, would be playing tonight. So that's reassuring.
Break, right?
That's reassuring to hear, though, because as guys have been coming off the list, like his turn to come off the list is in the next couple of days. So as for tonight's game, they started out great, and now we're starting to see a team that hasn't played in 2.5 weeks. A lot of sloppy passes, a lot of touch passes that don't have the right touch on them. And as each period goes on, you could see the defense is starting to slow down. So if this game remains tied,
you got one consistent thing, though. Your goaltender hasn't
Blackwood.
played, the 19th of January?
That's what it was the first 4 games. It was all him. So it's nice to see him picking up right where he left off. So there's, like you said, there's 11, 12-ish minutes left in the game. If it remains tied with 5 minutes left, this game is going to the Rangers. I feel it.
Don't be so sure, pal. Don't be so sure.
Speaking of the Rangers, they play in New York. Another team in New York is the Islanders. That's a team the Devils haven't played in a long time. Nick, how are things going over there on the island?
They're doing all right. We have had a few games this week, a couple games right now. Second game this week against Buffalo, and doing pretty good on this point streak we're running through.
So you had 3 games last week, dude? You had 3 games last week?
Yeah, 3 games last week. One against Boston, one against Pittsburgh, and Buffalo. Tonight's I guess we're not officially into this week because this game is going on right now. So we'll consider it 3 in the last week.
Game, it does count as last week.
Right.
Like it's going on right now. You're going to talk
it's
about
it right now. I'm going to talk about it a little bit for sure. Yeah. So
you will be happy to know that Don LaGreca on the Michael K show does a segment called Ice Picks, and he picked the Islanders to win yesterday. And he was on a very bad losing streak, and he helped the Islanders help him break his losing streak.
Nice. So doing good.
Done.
Players responding, finally getting points ever since we had a few games in a row. We got to overtime and started to get those points back, and now they've been on a little bit of a winning streak. Hopefully tonight's the 3rd win in a row.
And that one guy you wanted to come out, who was the guy you wanted to come out? Komarov?
Leo Uncle Leo Komarov.
Yeah, he
who-
came out, right?
He is out tonight.
Yeah.
First time in a while. He's been on the whole time for pretty much most of the time since Pavillia's been out. Pavillia's first game is back tonight. Komarov finally was benched. And not to say like negatively, but just in the sense that I've wanted to see him benched because
Yeah.
I want to see some other guys. And I'll talk one of the lines I've wanted to see together. I think I talked about it a few times now is Pageau and Bavillier. And guess who started playing with Pageau tonight? Anthony Bavillier.
Nice.
And with a little Mr. Oliver Wallstrom, and seeing that
Okay.
that line started the game tonight because Pageau's been red hot, and so
Nice.
that line is looking good. So yeah, I guess Steve, you only went so fast because you had no games. Is that the reason?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Are we just gonna just blow right by the fact that Komarov came out? I mean, it takes a lot of courage for somebody to do that.
No.
Yeah.
Of the lineup.
The lineup.
Oh.
I mean, he could do that, but he is creepy Uncle Leo. But I mean, I don't think that's the case.
It's common misunderstanding.
So let's just start off with a quick thing about Mr. JG motherfucking Pageau. He has been red hot, and he's a guy I thought this year would be. I thought he'd have a big year. And slow start, and he's starting to really, really roll. He's had now 5 goals in 4 games, including tonight, and that's just this week. And he's been just playing fantastic. He did get a gift goal yesterday, in the Buffalo game. Just one of those shots that goalie should have stopped on an innocent play coming down the boards on a 2-on-2, and he just ripped it top shelf. And goalie did not have his glove up, but man, he is playing well. So much so they put him on. They put him out in the first start of the game. Typically, we put the 4th line out start the game. Most of the games, sometimes they put out the Barzal line. But I haven't seen them do that in quite a while. Almost every game last year was 4th line, first start in the game. So for them to put Pageau's line out, it's because he's been awesome. And I really wanted to see him with Bavillier just because I think the two of them would be really good together. They're speedy, they're chippy, and I thought to combine them with anybody, and I think they'll be a nice complement to the first 2 lines. And it also breaks up our second line a little bit, which I just kind of want to see without Bavillier on. And to be honest, it's been interesting because that's what happened with him out. They had to put somebody else in, and basically the second line just started to it struggled a little bit with Nelson and not playing that great, but they've started to come back along a little bit. Switching lines up has been nice. So JG playing outstanding. Very happy to see that. Seeing him with the pair with Pavillier has been really good. JG had another goal again tonight on a heck of a shot. We had 2 wins and an overtime loss or shootout loss from Varlamov this week. He's not playing tonight. We got Sorkin in, currently trying to hit his first win in the NHL. He's currently got 3 minutes left. We're up 2-0. Hopefully he can get that first win. Maybe a shutout. We'll see.
Oh no. You didn't just say that.
Oh, he absolutely just said it.
Whatever.
Guys,
I don't
it's our time.
perfect game.
Oh,
And then
you
goes on, starts
fucking
talking
you
like crazy.
jinx.
This isn't baseball, you fucks.
Oh,
Shut
you
up.
jinx.
There goes
No.
the no-hitter.
You guys are Mets fans for a reason. Shut
We'll
up.
see.
I'm not a Mets
Yeah.
fan on the record, please. No, please don't lump me in that bullshit. Don't lump me in that goddamn category.
Whatever.
Ever.
Oh, maybe that's why they suck, because I say that all the time when they're playing. Anyway, so Varley's been playing outstanding as well. He's been rock solid every game. He had a ridiculous save last night. Just robbed Allstrom. I can't really get how what the defenseman on Buffalo. I'm watching the game and I can't remember his damn name. Anywho, he had a ridiculous save there, hit the post. And essentially, he's been great. He's currently looking like, how they rate this? He's got 7 wins in the NHL. Save percentage is pretty high. What the hell? 931. He's top 10 at the moment. Best, it looks like, in the Metro behind Blackwood, incredibly. Blackwood.
He only played 4 games.
He's got 3 games played.
Yeah.
So he's been rock solid for us. Outside of that, first line is looking like the first line. Barzal playing like an MVP candidate. He's been looking way better defensively. He's been noticeable defensively. Something that I couldn't say for Tavares for years. And this is, I think, his 4th year, and he's just looked very good off the puck. He made a big hit yesterday to essentially start a quick play, pass out to Bailey, out to lead to score the first goal of the game. And it all happened from coming in and finishing a check, and came out of nowhere. It seemed like, you don't think of him as like a guy that can hit people, and just did it, and it got the goal. He's been looking really good. He's dangerous on offense every time he's on the ice. He's looking great. Bailey has been looking back to his normal, getting back through his funk he was in, and he's had a few assists. He was first star of the game last night, a couple assists and primary assists, and off deflections. And the last few games he's been playing well. And the last guy on that line is Anders Lee, who had a goal last night and goal tonight. It's been like the same guys just scoring, and they're playing really, really good, keeping this team, where they need to be. And the last thing I kind of want to bring up, Isles, it's kind of related, but I thought it's really important to mention. And that's, I don't know if you guys got a chance to read the article from Kay Strang today. Kay Strang is the former Newsday Isles beat writer for a couple of years, and from 2009 to 2011, and she went on to ESPN, was successful there, and now she's the editor-in-chief at The Athletic, and she's been working on a piece around the Arizona Coyotes, and they're basically
what an article.
And so
what an
around
article.
their dysfunction.
Oh yeah, great piece.
So it's a great investigative piece, interviews from bunch of dozens of people from the organization, all different levels, and it is just
and then tonight, what a shock, they announced they're looking into a lawsuit, which if you read the article is exactly what you would expect them to do given the character that she painted them as.
They immediately today put out a note after the article was released. I read this morning because I saw a few tweets about it being like, you got to read this. And I saw it from Stranger, and I'm like, I'm going to read anything from Stranger. So I wrote, and I saw what it was about. I was like, I had a bookmark time my work day because I had a whole bunch of meetings, found time to read it between good 20 minutes. And it was awesome. And just shows how, it makes me feel better because like the Isles had such shitty owners for some periods of time, to see another organization go through such, which seems like a very bad fit for, and look for the NHL.
Yeah, it made me think of like the whole Wong era. Like,
I would say not Wong so much, more like Spano.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's what I meant. Spano, right? The one who came in and didn't have the money, really.
Yeah, he didn't have it. Yeah, and we almost sold the team to a guy that had no money. But that's a bad look for the NHL more than the Islanders, honestly. Yeah. And the same thing again. It's just there's a lot of just it's a great article. Go read it. And I was thrilled to see everybody rally around, pretty much universally, everyone in the hockey universe rally around Stranger and be like, "This is fucking awesome. Stranger is great." Arizona is like a bunch of fucks. What happens? Arizona comes out and puts out their thing like, "Oh, they're putting us in a bad light." They neglected to state that the owner's done all this economical relief. Like very just like, okay, you're just gonna ignore the problems and go and tack something else about the editor. And it was interesting in the article. The only thing I'll mention about in the article is that Stranger did have a situation where she wrote about that she basically got tried to intimidate her and tell her she was basically like, how do you think I should go around talking to GMs about how you're doing your job and blah blah. And it's a really interesting article to read. And I was really proud to see our former, beat writer go and kick ass in the industry. So that's pretty much what I wanted to bring about. And I hope you guys get a chance to read it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So
I didn't know she worked at Newsday and covered the Isles. Like,
yeah, for a couple of years she did. And then she moved on to bigger and better things. And she's a very talented writer. Speaking of shitty franchises, Tom, I think you probably ready.
It can't get worse than it is right now.
One thing I forgot to mention, the stat I wanted to bring up to you. So I was just browsing the interwebs, and I just thought this was pretty ridiculous, but also it just made me think of you. It was Lafreniere having the same amount of points as Rick DiPietro in their first 13 career games.
Well, actually, they were actually comparing him to Steven Stamkos, and I thought that comparison between he and Stamkos was a little bit more realistic.
DiPietro?
Than him with a goal.
Is it the injury that they're always both hurt?
Yeah, I want to say it was just a little stab for you there, just to get you going.
Yeah, really? Wow.
Before you
What
get
a
to
guy.
Go. So
No, it's great to kick me while I'm down. And you know what? The Rangers are down, and they are getting the shit kicked out of them.
That's
and look,
down by 2, I think.
They're not a bad defensive team. They're not a bad penalty killing team. They just can't score goals for the life of them. And they can't figure it out. Mika is going through a year in which it's I was texting with Steve earlier today. It's almost fucking comical how bad they are at offense, how bad they are at scoring goals.
Well, that's it. I think you need to correct that. They move the puck very well.
Of course, yeah.
When it comes to shooting, not so well.
Nick was saying an oopsie goal. I would love a fucking oopsie goal. The Rangers this season never get an oopsie goal ever.
is it because they're not like really winning pucks or winning battles in the corners?
No, they're generating. They're getting their chances. They're cycling. They're doing everything they're supposed to do. They just can't put the puck in the net. Can't put it in the net. Coming into this game, or actually coming into the second period of this game, they had played 11 periods. In those 11 periods, they scored 3 goals, 2 shutouts, and 2 goals in one game since their last win against Washington. It seems like last year. And it's tough, man. You watch a team that hasn't played in 16 days and they come out and they literally kick the shit out of you. They literally kick the shit out of you. I've been preaching patience. I've been preaching the process. I've been preaching everything. But I got to tell you, as a fan, it's getting fucking frustrating. It is getting frustrating to watch this team go through this. I have to ask because I don't know. But the year after Hall came in and was the MVP and single-handedly got the Devils to the playoffs, they had a pretty rough year the next year.
Oh, yeah.
How were you feeling during that particular year? And this was what, 3 years ago?
I was feeling fine just because that playoff run that they went on, not playoff run, but making the playoffs the year before was a completely unexpected event. They weren't supposed to make the playoffs. They made the playoffs. Everybody was happy they did. Nobody expected them to make the playoffs again the next year.
Well, even with Taylor Hall coming back with a Hart Trophy.
Yeah, it was still such a young team and such a porous defense.
There wasn't any. There was plenty of people in the beginning of the year going, "Oh, Hart Trophy winner. That's these Devils, man. They're making the playoffs again. They're even younger than they were last year. Added some pieces. I think there was some of that going on with some people for sure."
No, that was the year. That was the next year when they drafted Hall and they got Subban and Gusev. That year, people were like, they're going to make the playoffs. You're talking about the year where they played so bad, they wound up getting the Hall pick.
No. The year after Taylor Hall won the MVP and brought them to the playoffs.
Right. Is the year they didn't.
That next year.
I don't think anybody thought they were going to make the playoffs that year.
I think there's people that were saying they're making the playoffs, especially when you get the reigning Hart Trophy winner. Come on. But that's kind of like where the Rangers are right now. So the Rangers are maybe 2 years behind the Devils. And if that's the case, it's going to be a rough 2 years, guys. Rough fucking 2 years. But I think the Rangers might be slightly ahead.
I think they're ahead, yeah.
But it's not showing. There is nothing showing. The record is not showing. Maybe their goal differential is showing it, but that's about it. They're a very difficult team to watch because it's so frustrating because, the best forward on the ice for the Rangers tonight was Capo Caco. It's not even a debate on who the best forward on the ice was. Igor was the best player on the ice in the first period. That I don't think anybody will question that.
This sucks because I don't think my job here is to pump up your tires, but think about the pieces you have in place first.
No, I completely, I get all that. And that's why I'm preaching patience. And that's why, we're going through the process and all that other bullshit. But watching this team right now, going through this stretch of 3 weeks, it's tough, man. It's tough to watch. It's tough to just sit there and just say, oh, well, it's the process. You want to see them score goals. You want to see them succeed. And it's just not happening. It's just not happening. And then Panarin goes down. K'Andre Miller is down. They're both short, very, very short term. Coach said they were close to playing tonight. I really don't know how honest and truthful that is. But, whatever. So hopefully next game, the team actually wants to score goals. They're not going to get any easier from here because they got Philly and Washington coming up this week. And it's just going to get harder and harder to play against these teams, especially when you have goaltenders who will come to the game who are confident they're going to stop the pucks that you shoot at them. So good luck, guys. It's going to be a really, really long, difficult year, especially if he's not scoring and, your best player is the goaltender and you're leaving him hanging out to dry half the game. Speaking of which, Igor has really stepped up and really has solidified that number one goaltender, just like I think everybody thought he was going to.
Would you shut up? Nick's trying to say something.
I
was good. That's okay. I was gonna ask how. Well, you said Kakko has been your best player today, right?
Yeah.
What's he been doing? What was like obviously not scoring goals, but what around the puck or off the puck has he been doing?
He's been on the puck defensively. He has been generating plays. He's hard on the puck. He's hard on the puck offensively and defensively, and just been snake bitten. I mean, Strome had a chance on a couple of assists. Kakko had a couple of shots and went wide, and goaltender makes good saves. And I've been noticing a lot with Lafreniere, and I mean it's easy to pick on him because he hasn't scored goals, right? And he hasn't accumulated that many points. But he's doing a lot of the defensive work. He is not going forward and putting forth his offensive ability is because he is so scared of making a defensive woe. So someone's got to talk to this kid. It's great that he's focusing on defense. Maybe that's what their plan is for him this year, is to really focus on defense and be an all-around guy, and then all the fruits of their labor will show in the next 3 to 5 years. But that doesn't help his case right now, and it doesn't help him as a number one overall pick in the league right now. It just doesn't. Sorry to say it. And right now, it's a tough team to watch right now. Very, very difficult. Very difficult. So, Billy, how's your defense?
As bad as your offense.
It can't be that bad. It cannot possibly be that fucking bad.
Well, they ended up, so they lost tonight. I caught up. They lost tonight, 3-1. They've only played three times in the last 2 weeks. Well, before tonight, they'd only played 3 times. Obviously they were supposed to play the Devils. Those games were canceled, but it was a very light schedule for them as it was anyway. And I feel like they, obviously haven't had any COVID issues, et cetera, and so forth. So they're
knock on wood.
They've been on the ice, they've been practicing, and I think some things are paying off. I think there's more cohesion defensively. They weren't great tonight, but I felt like Washington had been on a long losing streak, and I feel like it was just one of those nights where you got a good team that's been down a while, and they just came out with a lot of desperation and just made that work for them tonight. They just wanted it more tonight, and so I can't get on the Penguins too much for the way they played tonight. Defensively overall, they've been a little more coherent. They've been getting some guys back. They've got Marcus Pettersson back tonight. Matheson didn't play bad tonight, and Matheson was going to be one of my 4 points. Was Matheson anyway? He's actually been outside of the defensive zone. He's been a pretty good player for them. He moves the puck pretty well. He seems like he's got a good. He's pretty much in sync with the team and what they're doing offensively. It's been defensively that he just looks lost and he's chasing guys around, not moving his feet. It's just been kind of ugly back there. But that too looked a little better tonight. So with some of these guys coming back, the health improving, maybe they're gonna take a turn for the better defensively. I liked Jari tonight. He gave up 3 goals. Obviously not a great night, but he seemed to have been getting a little more aggressive in the net. He seemed like he was taking some aggressive chances with some poke checks and things like that. He just seemed like he was a little bit quicker, thinking quicker on his feet, and overall just looked a little more solid. I mean, the defense is still not there. The goaltending is still not there. It's definitely a problem, but I'll take small improvements where I see them. So they actually in their last game before tonight against Washington, they did something that they hadn't done all season, which was take a 2-goal lead without the benefit of an empty net goal. They actually had a 2-goal lead and they made it stand for their second regulation win of the season.
I was actually in the car for that game listening to it on XM radio, and they actually made a big point about that. That was the first time they had a 2-goal lead.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine, I don't know what it was, a dozen games into the season or whatever, that being the first time, I mean, they haven't had many leads all season. I guess that's kind of the thing. So there's not been many 1-goal leads to even build on top of that. So, but yeah, the 2-goal lead became a 1-goal lead at one point, but they added some empty nets and they won that one 6-3. And that might be the high point of their season at this. So who knows? I mean, tonight they were losing again, and they were losing in that game too. So they do have that streak intact. They've been behind in every single game so far this season. That has not changed. The other thing that looks like like showing signs of being a little bit better is their power play. They didn't score on the power play tonight. Actually, I'm not sure if they were on the power play when they scored their goal tonight. I was kind of fast forwarding through that to see how it ended. But they did look better though on the power play. They were moving the puck a little better. Really, Malkin hasn't given away the puck for a few days. They'd scored a power play goal in their prior game against Washington. They're looking at least like an average NHL power play lately. That's again, kind of a step up there. And then the last of the points for the Penguins, it was a nice week for rumors. There were Marc-Andre Fleury back to Pittsburgh rumors that popped up. It doesn't seem like they were well founded. The rumor actually seems like it traced back to the offseason. There was a Penguins reporter that said that they were inquiring about that in the summer, and it seems like that got misinterpreted as the new regime was looking into it.
So that rumor was the Penguins inquiring about Fleury, not Vegas reaching out to Pittsburgh to ask them if they wanted Fleury.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's been playing better than Leonard.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they would want to trade him right now.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. When you got a team that's really looking for, really thinks they have a chance at the cup like Vegas, I don't see any reason for them to mess around with the duo that they've got there right now and have, risk having somebody unproven there as your second goaltender. I mean, the Penguins did it twice with Fleury not being the number one guy. So it's definitely not, unless the Penguins are going to, knock their socks off with something that is going to help them right now. And I'm not sure what that would even be, then it just wouldn't make sense. So the Penguins will have to shop for their goalies elsewhere until Fleury becomes legitimately available, maybe in the off season or as a free agent in the future. But it wouldn't surprise me to see that happen eventually. They seem to like each other, the fans and the organization and the goalie himself. So we'll see what happens there. And that's my 4 points for the Penguins.
Injury update: Jacob Trouba, upper body, will not be returning to tonight's game. Not that it mattered because they fucking lost anyway, but I think that was prior to the third period starting. So they were down one defenseman and a 5-2 loss to the Devils, who haven't played in 16 days, haven't barely even skated in 16 days, and they lost. Wonderful.
How do you feel about that?
Wonderful. And now they want fucking fans to come out and watch this team. 2,000 fans they want to let in the building to watch this fucking team play hockey. Not right now. I wouldn't. And plus, how much are tickets? Tickets are going to be astronomical.
Well, they said, yes, obviously, season ticket holders and suite holders get first dibs.
Sure.
$50.
$50.
$50. Didn't say if that was the cheapest ticket or every ticket or where you would be sitting, but
no, but
there's only going to be 2,000 people. You're not going to be sitting that high up.
No, but they did say the secondary market, and in the secondary market, at least for the football games down here in Tampa, they were going for $1,000 a pop. In those on the upper decks, it was actually ridiculous that I wouldn't have spent $1,000 to go to a football game this year. You
talking the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I am talking about the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers, but this is prior to them.
Tampa Bay
being the Tampa Bay Bucks. Ugh.
That's down in Tampa Brady, right?
Ugh. Yeah, that's what it is down here. Ugh.
Brady's
you would,
good.
And you're full of shit. If you had the opportunity to pay $50 to go see the Rangers play as one of only 2,000 fans in the building, you would go.
Probably just for the experience of it. But I would have to go to a doctor to prove that I haven't had the COVID in 72 hours.
So you would drive down to there's the test centers around the corner from here.
I would have, if I wanted to go a game, I would have to go get tested.
Yes.
It's easy. If you go test it, if they have the drive-through one for you guys,
yeah,
let's go.
Yeah.
We did it before. It took 24 hours. We got to test back real quick. No, easy peasy.
So does anybody else have anything to say about fans coming back into the arena? Because I have something I want to ask, and it kind of dovetails nicely into that.
Why don't you go? Is
it getting close to the Ranger fans being able to start chanting 1983 when they play the Islanders?
I mean, they could.
The Islanders started that. The Islanders fans started that chant in 1981, right after a playoff series between the two. That was 41 years after the Rangers won the Cup in 1940.
We're getting close to 40 years.
We're at 38 years right now for the Islanders.
Oof.
So well, I think
I would have to start in the playoff after the Rangers beat.
After a Rangers playoff series win,
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if we start to hear that.
Well, that would be lovely.
Not when you haven't won a Stanley Cup for 27 years already.
But they've won in between.
No, the Rangers haven't won since '94.
But they've won. They've won since the Islanders last won their cup, though.
Yeah, but
I think it's a little different, man. It's like we had 4 cups in a row, 19 playoff series in a row wins, losing ultimately to the next,
But
you haven't.
That's all your franchise has, though.
But that was 38 years ago.
Right. That's all your franchise has. After that, it's been Yashin and DiPietro and.
I'm not gonna say no. That's not the case. That's totally the case.
Trading away Chara.
Right.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of dark years for sure. I mean, ownership was brutal for a long time. But
I think, like Tom said, if there's a playoff series between the two and the Rangers come out ahead, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to hear it.
I still think if you haven't won a cup in a decade,
okay.
you shouldn't be chanting about however many years anybody's won.
Let's take a little
That's my thought
here. How many teams were in the NHL when that was going on with the Rangers?
21.
In the 1940, it was 21 teams.
Oh, in the
No,
1940s,
no,
six teams.
6 teams.
Yes, they were called the original 6. Nick, I don't know if you know this about hockey or not. Do you know where they were?
I'm saying.
Do you need help locating them on the map?
I think there were more teams in the NHL in 1940.
The point was the original, right? Yeah, I think there was more than that. I think there was. I don't remember all the.
You think the New York Americans
let's
were
see.
in it back then? I think in 1940, though, Billy, it was the original 6. I think in 1928 and all those when the Rangers first came in, they had other ones.
Okay.
But I think
So
in 1940
40
it was the original 6.
42 to 67, it was the 6 teams.
Oh, I was wrong.
67 expansion, they doubled in size to 12, and then
land the
let's
plane.
see.
Where are you going? Land the plane with this. Come on.
1970, 14. They all right, all the way to 21 teams in 79. Isles came in about what year is it? In 72, so 16 teams at that point. Anyway, my point is from 40 to 72, there was like no teams in the NHL. Rangers couldn't fucking win a cup. Get fucked. All right.
Dude,
So
there was like Montreal Canadiens dynasties in there and Boston
Bruins.
I mean,
Not Rangers, basically.
come on. No,
Yeah.
definitely. And not Rangers.
everyone had a dynasty except for the Rangers. That's weird.
Wasn't it all provincial? Didn't you get the players that grew up close to your place in the early years?
No, I'm sure that no one wanted to. Probably. I don't remember the things about it, but my point was going to be is that there was less.
1983. That's all I got to say to you, buddy.
It's a lot less.
And that's coming from a Devils fan.
2003.
That wasn't even started by a Ranger fan.
We won in this
Started by a
century,
Devils
at
fan.
least.
I feel like you have to come up with an original one, right? 83. That doesn't have the same ring to it as 1940.
No, it does. You're absolutely right about that. It doesn't have
No.
the same cachet.
Now, if they started like chanting DiPietro on mass, that might have like a little better.
How about
but
you're still
not
paying
that good.
DiPietro? How about that? What if they chanted that?
That's pretty long, and that might work for Devils
We
fans.
chant
who
that. We
can't
chant
think-
that to the
think
Mets
too
with
good.
Bonilla.
And Potvin sucks.
Potvin
Yeah,
does.
that is true.
That was the worst.
And the Flyers. Flyers suck. Fuck the Flyers.
Oh,
Fuck
Flyers.
the Flyers.
So, I mean, the Flyers went? They were back at practice today.
Yeah.
Are they back at
So
practice?
I think that game this weekend is on.
All right, because the Rangers are having games rescheduled on Sunday.
The Devils
No,
Devils had a game rescheduled
Saturday.
for Sunday.
The
The
Rangers
Devils
Rangers supposed to play Washington on Sunday, but then their Saturday game got moved to 12:30.
because the Devils they inserted a Devils Capitals game Sunday night, the 21st. So the Rangers are playing the Capitals on Saturday.
Yeah,
They had to play that game earlier because of some rule where it had to be more than 24 hours or 24 hours at least in between puck drops or something. Maybe, I don't know.
that's it.
But I bet you that the time change definitely had a reason because of, is that game in MSG
No,
Saturday?
no. Well, hold on. I'm not sure now. I thought it was in Washington, but I could absolutely be wrong. It's at Washington. I was right.
Okay. So then I think both games are in Washington at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Devils really fucked everybody's schedule up, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird to see
Thank
them play
you.
9 games compared to
Yeah.
14 and 15. It's screwy. It's hard to say where they are in the.
One of
In
their
the
games
division.
that was one of the rescheduled games is actually for that week after the regular season is supposed to end. So it's
Do
the
you think-
first game.
Well, you sent that text on before tonight's recording of their schedule for the rest of the year, and
Yep.
it seems fucking ludicrous.
It's every other day for like the next 2 months, except for one set of back-to-back days off that they have from March into April. They have 2 days off, March 31st and April 1st. Other than that, they're playing every other day.
Jeez.
17 games in March, 16 games in April.
You think they really fucked their chances up this year
That's
because of COVID?
That's gonna be rough. They're really gonna have to lean on that taxi squad in those 2 months. And I think we're starting to see them preparing for that now by starting to cycle players from the Binghamton Devils of Newark onto the taxi squad so they could practice with the team at least, and then back down to Binghamton so that when the time comes in March and April, they have a little bit of experience with the speed of an NHL, practice / game. If they would have just had preseason games, these guys would have gotten game experience. I don't know why they didn't have preseason games.
We all wanted them.
I've been saying that all year.
Everybody wanted them.
Couldn't agree with you more.
If they had preseason, maybe we all would have a better feel for the identity of our teams.
Well, I know what the identity of the Rangers are.
What's that?
They can't score fucking goals to save their lives. Save their fucking lives. They can't put the puck in the back of the net. Can't tell you how many times I saw someone try to put the puck like through the goaltender in the net and then ultimately just hit glass. Just take your time and put the puck on net. See what happens.
Well, so the Zaka goal kind of personified exactly what we've been saying. A well-placed shot doesn't have to be the hardest shot. As long as it's well-placed, you're going to beat the goalie.
On the power play.
On the power play.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the other goal hey, congratulations to Will Butcher for finally getting into a fucking game. 364 days.
And he scored.
Games.
That was his goal. The second one was his goal. Yeah.
And he scored.
And the fans on Twitter will still roast him.
See how easy it is to score a goal? You could just have one game in 364 days you score a goal.
It.
Why is it so hard for the Rangers?
I wish I could tell you, but I'm very intrigued to see what the Twitterverse is like in Rangerland after this one. They're probably all calling for Quinn's head. Let's get rid of Howden, change it up, kind of blow it up. And I mean, what's to blow up? Who wants Ryan Strome? Nobody wants Ryan Strome right now. Well, I don't think we can get a bag of pucks for Ryan Strome right now.
Could he play goal?
He couldn't be any worse at goal than he is at center. I mean, but we talked a lot about this before the season even started on how much Ryan Strome's point total depended upon Artemi Panarin, and it's glaring right now with Panarin out of lineup for 2 games. And even with Panarin in the lineup, he wasn't all that good, and nobody has been. And plus, Steve, what was the Devils' face-off percentage tonight?
I haven't seen it. What was it?
Toward the end of the third period, I saw the Devils were at 51%, and they finished at 50.7% tonight. Congratulations on your second face-off win percentage of the season.
Yeah!
Both against the Rangers. I can't understand how
0.1% less than last game, but I'll take it.
I can't understand how you're the worst face-off team in the league and we're the second worst face-off team.
Because they don't win face-offs.
Apparently you do when you play us. At least 1% more.
0.7% more.
That's all you need. That's all you fucking need.
It's not just 0.7% more. It's 1 point. It's
right. Yeah. Sorry, math guy.
Sorry,
math guy.
Yeah, 1.4.
My fault.
We were talking identity, I thought, for the teams.
Yeah. What's your identity there, Islander guy?
I was gonna say, what was the Rangers' identity? I didn't quite.
Oh, they can't score a goal to save their lives.
Goals.
Just
they can't score.
Snake bitten.
That's apparently their identity.
Right. They're a 95% team. They do 95% of the game right, except for that 5% of scoring goals.
Well, I think that's more than 5% then. That's a big part of the game, right? Just putting the puck in the net.
Michael Scott said, Wayne Gretzky said, you don't score 100% of the shots you don't take.
Before the season, it was about speed. It was about offense. And, the defense was kind of going to be there. So they were going to beat you with speed. They were going to be on you pretty hard and play a really, really fast game. They kind of do that, but it's not enough. And even at the times when they are playing fast, it just doesn't seem like it was last year. Last year was just they caught lightning in a bottle, and they're trying to recreate it, and they can't.
39 shots on goal tonight. Jesus.
Yeah. So,
well, that's a good identity, I guess, or a on-target identity, I guess, to have.
Yeah, but it doesn't change the fact that you got to put the fucking puck in the net to win hockey games. Period. End.
Definitely.
And they can't do that. They can't do that unless you're Colin Blackwell.
And that's why you come to this podcast. Because we've got expert insight like that.
Amen.
I was going to say, the good news is you're seeing a lot of shots from the back on the defense. I mean, what was that? Looking like 14, 15 shots from the D line. It's not bad. You want shots from there. If you're getting no shots from the defense.
Yeah, but there's nobody in front trying to deflect the pucks, man. There's nobody in the high slot trying to deflect it or anything else, which leaves a clear visual lane for the goaltender to stop the puck every single time.
Kreider
Well,
usually kills the Devils, and I didn't recognize him tonight outside of that fight.
But look, he's in front of the goal, but he's only on for a minute at a time in a shift. It's the other 3 lines that are being cycled that they don't get traffic in front. Somebody else talk, because I'm just upset.
Identity line. We literally have a line called the identity line. Can you guess which line that is?
Who cares?
Somebody would stop.
Who gives a fuck about Cizikas and Matt Martin and those?
Let's talk more about how the Rangers
Islanders
don't score. Seriously.
Well, I'll keep it short there. Isles' identity is grinding out the games and playing sound defensively. We start our 4th line number of games. We started almost every game last year, in the beginning of the game, each period, to get the energy going, to shut down opposing team's top line. And it's a good line. They have great chemistry when they're healthy. And when that line's going and kicking off cylinders, chances are the team's doing pretty good. So that's a pretty easy one for us. And it just, like I said, that's the name of the line. So it's hard to argue with it. What about the Devils, Steve?
The identity for the Devils at this point is speed and aggressive forechecking. That's what they're built on right now. Their defensive system is a little lacking. The power play and penalty kill are atrocious. Faceoffs are a huge issue. They're winning games with speed, aggressive forecheck, and activating one defenseman in the offense.
What about Blackwood's got quite a high save percentage. Are they just eating a lot of shots? Is he eating a lot of shots up? Are they all from the outside?
They're all from the outside. Yeah, they give up a fair amount of high quality scoring chances, but they're face-off dotting out. So the guy might get a clear look, but Blackwood is just standing tall.
Good shit. Billy, how about the Penguins?
Well,
The Penguins
identity, I want to change. I was thinking of one, but I want to change mine to grinding too, because it just sounds really hot. And I just want to think about Sidney Crosby grinding on something right now. I'd rather think of that. But no, the Penguins identity, it's funny because it's been such a strange year there with guys in and out of the lineup. And then obviously with the GM thing, with Jim Rutherford leaving and the new GM and president of hockey operations coming in, there's been a weird turnover there that was not necessarily anticipated. And in the offseason, they traded away Patrick Hornquist, who was really he didn't wear a C or an A, but I don't think anybody denied, he was really kind of the leader and the guy who would rally the team in the locker room. So really, when I think about the identity of this team, I'm not going to say Sidney Crosby, which you might expect me to say. I'm gonna go with Mike Sullivan. It really is his team, and this is really the fact that the Penguins are where they are right now, with everything that they've struggled with, to be in the middle of the pack in the division, a few points out of a playoff spot, but pretty close to one, despite being down in every game. I feel like this team kind of has his stamp on them, his work ethic. That I haven't been watching the Penguins going, they're just not trying. They're trying. They've always been trying. They've had their struggles, but it's not been a lack of effort. And they keep fighting when they're down. And all those things I kind of attribute to Sullivan's leadership. Because there's not a player, Crosby's not that leader that riles up the guys. Malkin, I don't know what he offers anymore, really. That's just not the kind of leadership that they have in their captain and their alternates. So I really feel like as seems like as long as he's around, the identity really comes from their head coach.
So is there a prospective guy in the lineup that's going to take over that rah guy spot? Can Letang do that?
No, Letang is also not that guy, but I don't know the personalities so much in the locker room at this point, but looking at the guys, the way they play on the ice, I'd have to say Tanev or a Bluger, you know, those are some real hard nosed guys.
Tanev was the guy that automatically came to my mind for sure.
Yeah, and they seem like if they get it, the experience enough within the team, I think they could be those kind of guys in the locker room. Yeah.
Great, good for you guys. They got really good identities.
Well, is there something besides just the struggle to score goals that you would put with the Rangers?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough. It's just a podcast.
That's our job, right? To talk about this stuff. Maybe it is because they don't have that heartbeat guy. The Rangers don't have that guy who's going out and making the hits. You know, Brendan Lemieux is supposed to be that guy. He's not really doing that. He's not firing up the team. Like the Islanders have the identity line, and you know, you got your grinders, and you have these kind of character guys who are going in and lighting a fire and really, you know, starting everything up. Lemieux's not doing that for the Rangers. I mean, Blackwell, he did it with a goal tonight, but other than that, there's no real guy who's going to go out there and bang you and hit you. And there's no fear from the other team to come and even hit you because, okay, I'm going to, like, look, I hit Zibanejad in opening period. Okay, Chris Kreider's going to come over. I can fight Chris Kreider, no problem. He's a strong guy, but nobody's fearing Chris Kreider like they would fear like a Tanner Glass or a Matt Martin or somebody else like that. There's nothing going on, right? The Rangers are all about speed. They have no physical toughness, and maybe it's the lack of identity on this team that is the real problem. Was that better for a fucking insight?
That was better.
Oh, sorry, I prompted you.
Good job. You had to really pull it out of you.
I felt like you were yelling at me.
I was, all right? God damn it. You go suffer through your fucking Cablevision internet, all right?
Oh, God. No, that's the worst fate possible.
Sorry, I had to take out my
That's
aggression and my anger on you, Billy.
You couldn't wish cancer on me, something that could be treated?
My God. No, I wouldn't do that.
That's true.
You
You can't cure Cablevision.
There's no cure. There's no known cure for Cablevision.
There really isn't.
You gotta fucking move.
I know, and it's crossed my mind many times.
You know what? The fucking I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. I'm the Rangers have just exhausted me, and I'm done for the night. Anybody else?
I'm just happy to have hockey back.
Oh,
This
fuck
is
you.
okay. Good night.
Screw everybody. Fuck you all. Billy, play us out.